on that and have not provided an explanation. So I would expect that. Please and thank you. Not actually. I'm not going to get mad if you don't, but go vote on our poll. We will get to that in the 10 o'clock segment. We're going to talk some Titans today. We're going to talk some college football today, as we've got a big slate of college football today. 2 local teams are doing battle in big games for the landscape of college football, plus some other games around the nation and in the SEC that are worth talking about. But Frazier, I want to start with this. And of course, we'll play Where Are They Now, which I don't know if you know this. Since you were the winner last year, Frazier, you are in charge of hosting.
Wow. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, I know you have some in your back pocket.
I do.
Ready to go.
I was ready for it. I'm more mad about yesterday what I told you about Where Are They Now. Somebody in the market decided to say, you know what? Let's take this title and use it for ourselves.
Can we out who that is?
Sure, go ahead.
The Tennessee Titans will be receiving a cease and desist from this program.
Like, why? Well, you could have just said, hey, back in the day, or something else. You didn't have to say Where Are They Now. I mean, I get it. You guys want to use our lingo. It's understandable, but come on now.
Well, I'm learning that I'm teaching lingo to the older generation. Last night on the Game Blitz, we had Coach Jay Pierce of DCA on, and I used the term masterclass, and he's like, I never heard that one before, and he kept using it, and I was like, yeah, Coach, go ask your players what that means. I guarantee you they'll be able to tell you. It's a younger term. He's like, I really like that term. Thank you for opening my eyes to that. I was like, you're welcome, Coach. Congrats on the win. So that was a lot of fun last night, Game Blitz. Lots of high school scores. I don't know if you saw this. Ensworth upset McCallie right here at home, even though Max Prep said they were on the road.
I know. I heard that. I was listening to you guys on the way home from Murfreesboro. You sounded great.
Thank you.
You guys do a really good job with that. Seriously.
Thank you. We only messed up one person's name, and that was on accident. We're not going to get into that. I want to start the show off today by acknowledging something that comes up on our text line pretty regularly. And it's such a hypothetical, but it seems like we have to do this now. And that's the 102.5 The Game Combine. We have a development in that. Adam Vingan went out to the Nashville Sounds game and displayed his athletic prowess. If you haven't seen the video, Willie tweeted it out. It's reposted on our Twitter. Willie kind of went into depth with it yesterday with D-Mace. But if you aren't familiar, for context, they do these promotional games during the Sounds games in the middle of the 6th inning. So poor Adam goes out there for, I can't remember exactly what the game is called, but it's like fielding fly balls with T-shirts. The pop-up something. Regardless, they flung T-shirts in the air, 3 of them. Adam's job was to catch all 3. Poor Adam went 0 for 3. So I think we need to have a conversation of who wins the 102.5 The Game Combine. I think we've decided Adam will not be playing wide receiver on the 53-man roster.
No, maybe defensive back, because he could just swat a few down if he wants to. But I think Adam, what he messed up as, if I'm analyzing this properly, he needed a baseball cap. He needed to use the bill of the baseball cap to differentiate where the lighting is. Yeah, it's what it's for. And, maybe he misjudged a few. So
he should have signaled for fair catch and just, if it bounces, then, you got to recover it. But, it's not baseball. Change your sport up. So Adam, if he's listening to this, and I'm sure he is at some point, I'm very sorry we're talking about this, but you brought this on yourself. Hit the gym. You got to get in the gym, which led me to go down a rabbit hole last night of who would win our combine. My money is on Willie Donick. Willie, I think, is a sneaky good athlete, and I think he would dominate. D-Mace, D-Mace is not allowed to participate. A former NFL athlete is not allowed to participate. I want to see the race, the 40-yard dash between Chase McCabe and Adam Vingan. I want to see how that ends up.
I think Robbie Stanley's a sneaky pick.
Oh, yeah. Robbie Stanley would kill us in the long jump, I think.
I've heard he's a pretty good golfer. And so I think if you include golf in this combine, or just like the longest drive, maybe Robbie's got us.
I know. I mean, Rexroad, I think, could put on some feats of strength. Big Joe, too. I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, the young guys like me, you, Parker, and Jake Lyman, I think we could set our own records. But as far as the regular on-air hosts, my money's on Willie to dominate everything.
That's fair. I think Willie's height kind of helps out with a lot of this, if there's a lot of vertical stuff. But
Willie's a 3-sport athlete. I mean, Willie was Willie has told me when he was playing high school football, he was a two-position athlete. He played both sides of the ball, quarterback and kicker. Not the two sides of the ball you think of, but it is, in fact, two sides of the ball. So
it is. Is there a way we can just coin Willie Donick as the Bo Jackson of radio?
I mean, he is Deion Sanders, isn't he? Like, he's just that guy.
He is, actually.
I mean,
let's put it that way.
He is that guy, pal. I mean, football, then played college basketball and baseball, and then, of course, played in the minor leagues for the Toronto Blue Jays organization. Willie Donick, the athletic specimen you are. I mean, he would dominate the combine. Let's be honest with ourselves. If we were to go out in the parking lot right now and say everyone get here, Willie would probably show up last, but he'd show up to win and leave.
Yeah, he's prepared. He shows up right at the last nick of time, and he's ready to go.
We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk some Titans, including up next, we're going to talk about what absolutely needs to change in Brian Callahan's game plan. Do the players in the Titans locker room trust him? And then we'll continue that conversation with how long until we can say Brian Callahan has lost the room. We're going to get into some college football later on in the show. Newt's Notes is back today as I take over the show. Hopefully we have all three people here by then. Depends on some other things. Our weekend poll, again, is up. What is the best traditional helmet in college football? You can vote Notre Dame, Michigan, Alabama, or etc. Going to talk about the big games today. Vanderbilt taking on South Carolina in Columbia. And, of course, where College Game Day is right now in Knoxville. Your Vols taking on the Bulldogs of Georgia, the Mean Machine in red and black. Other matchups, of course, around the nation, too, with Texas A&M and Notre Dame, Florida and LSU. And the one you all want to talk about, Kentucky and Eastern Michigan. We will break that all down coming up throughout the show. But coming up next, let's talk about Brian Callahan. What absolutely needs to change in his game plan, his play calling, and what needs to change for the players in the locker room to start trusting good old BC. That's up next here on the Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier here with you on 102.5 The Game.
Sunday, there was pretty tangible frustration from you as well.
Yeah.
How concerned are you about the here we go again aspect to this, or is this team different enough to where you don't see that happening?
Yeah, this team is very different from that. I understand where you're coming from. I know that feeling. But I didn't feel that at all from our football team in that game. I was frustrated at just the things that we could have done to win the game, and a game that I felt like we had a very good chance to win. To not come out of that playing better than we did in all three phases, I think, was what was disappointing. Disappointed in myself, obviously, on top of it. So I love the makeup of our football team. I really do. I think they have the right mentality. They understand that we always are going to have a chance. They play really hard. They play with great effort. Those things are going to help us along the way, and we're going to win more football games. But that feeling that can creep in sometimes, I don't feel it from our guys. I think we've got really good leadership. The leadership has grown quite a bit, I think, in a year's time, and the new faces we've added and the young players and their demeanor and makeup gives me a ton of confidence that that's not something that we have to worry about. And I really do. I mean, I know it's only 1 week and all that, but I really do like the makeup of our football team and where they stand. It's a night and day difference in totality from a year ago.
There you go. That was Brian Callahan talking about the makeup differences between this year's team and last year's team. Seems like he thinks this year's team is a lot different from last year's based on watching the Titans of 1 week of NFL football. I don't know if I agree with you there, Brian. 102.5 The Game has teamed up with Pello Windows and the National Humane Association for a puppy pet adoption today at Pella, 256 East Main Street in Hendersonville from 10 to noon. For more details, visit thegamenashville.com/events. Welcome back in Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game National Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And I kind of just said it, Frazier, but Brian Callahan seems a little bit in over his head based on that answer. This team is completely different from last year's team, and you're going to see stark differences on the on-field product. And to me, when I watched them last week play against the Denver Broncos, didn't look all that different to me. Sure, the position, I mean, you got different guys in different positions now. It's the play calling. That's exactly the same. And I ask you this question. What needs to change in the game plan? What does Brian Callahan need to do to modify his play calling? Or is that even something he can modify? Because if he doesn't modify and change with the times, he's going to get canned pretty fast.
Yeah, I think the one primary thing Callahan needs to focus on is adjusting on the fly when it comes to play calling. I think, a lot of these coaches in the NFL, they have a certain, call sheet that they go through, to prep for a game. And they should have like, if I have plays 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3 work, but I need to flip it to 5 and 6 instead of 4 and 3. Yeah, maybe I should do that. There needs to be some flexibility in the play calling, and I don't think Callahan has really done that. I think because of his job is so on the fringe of being canned, he's afraid to make a mistake. And I think when you stick to the ultimate, play calling sheet, that's even going to hurt you worse when you don't adjust on the fly, because it doesn't show your intelligence as a coach. Your true, intelligence as a coach.
Yeah, I think Brian Callahan gets stuck in his ways often. I think he is committed to the script of what he wants to do. And not that radio hosting and NFL coaching is the same thing. One is a lot harder than the other, that being coaching. I'm not going to say hosting is hard. But can Brian Callahan get on here and host a 3-hour show? I don't know. To compare the two, when you're preparing, or at least when I'm preparing for a show, I like to script out a grid. I like to script out what we are going to talk about in each segment. For instance, we're talking about Brian Callahan, the next 2 segments as of right now. That is subject to change. If things are rolling and things are going good and the audience is connecting with you, then screw the grid. Go with it. Brian Callahan needs to do the same thing. If the pass plays are working or not working, then switch it up. Go with what works. Don't get stuck in your ways. And I think that's what killed him last week, especially in that second half drive where it was 3 straight passes trying to be, quote, aggressive. All you got to do is hand the ball off once, get a first down, and let the clock run down. Then you go into the half with the lead. Brian Callahan said he was trying to be aggressive and pass for 3 straight incompletions and ultimately gave up a touchdown to be down at the half instead of up. Brian Callahan gets stuck in his own ways. He's committed to what he thinks is right. And ultimately, it proves not to be right. And that's what killed them. That's what kills them. And I think you're going to see that tomorrow, because I think he's too stuck in his ways and he's too in over his head. And I don't think it's all intentional. I don't think he's trying to play the holier than thou card and say, I'm a better football mind than any of you. I just think he gets nervous. And I think he gets in over his head and he over prepares. And over preparation is just as good as under preparation.
Yeah, there's one factor that it just kind of hit my brain. You know, you were at training camp. You understood and seen everything out there. My one question is to you. Do you think the Tyjae Spears injury affected this offense completely to the point to where it's almost made their offense one-dimensional in a roundabout way? Because Brian Callahan mentioned preseason that, it's a 2-back system. We're going to use Tyjae and Tony Pollard at our best capabilities. Yeah. But when I think of that, I'm thinking you don't have a true bell cow. You're just not trying to be as predictable in the passing game.
Well, they kind of tried to do it last week with Julius Chestnut, and anytime Julius Chestnut was in the game on the 3rd down situation, I didn't feel good about it, because I like Julius Chestnut. I think he's a solid player, but he's not a guy that is going to absolutely move the chains for you. I think you have a point there, Frazier, in that, granted, he's not the kind of player you were hoping he would be to this point in his career, but Tyjae Spears is still a pivotal piece in this offense. And he's a good receiving back. That's kind of what you and I talked about yesterday with Chase, is that Tony Pollard needs to get involved in the receiving game too. Tony Pollard was a receiving back last year for the Titans, and it worked out well. He would, well for him, not well for the team. He was a receiving back in Dallas, and Dallas was a year in and year out playoff team with him on the roster. So I think you need to get your halfbacks involved in the pass game, because you have 2 similar running backs that can do kind of the same things. Get them involved in the passing game, and it may work out for you.
And it just solidifies my point that I made way back in the spring, throughout the summer, and of last week and yesterday. The Titans don't have a bell cow running back. They've gone away from the run game that they've prided themselves on this whole entire time, and they're still saying, we're still a run-first team. Not really.
No.
Brian Callahan's a pass-first guy.
And I like the pass aggressiveness.
You like pass-first?
In this era of NFL football, yes, I like pass-first. The problem is you don't have the receivers to do that. You don't really know if you have the quarterback to do that. You think you know, because you drafted a guy number 1 overall. That makes him your franchise guy, at least going forward. And I like the mentality of, okay, if he's a quarterback that we've spent all this, this investment on, and we spent a number 1 overall draft pick on, he should probably be throwing the ball, right? But you got to have the receivers to do that. And I think receivers were part of the problem last week when they couldn't catch a damn ball. Calvin Ridley could not catch a cold. Alec Iomanner, he made some catches, but I don't think he is an elite wide receiver. If you were to ask me his ceiling right now, I would say he's probably a solid number 2 or number 3 on this team. Same with Chim DK, and Chim DK is going to get more involved in the pass game this week, it seems like. But you don't have Jamar Chase. You don't have Justin Jefferson. You don't have, Puka Nacua, if we want to throw the guy that's going to be against you next week. I'm okay with Cam Ward throwing the ball, because that's how he's going to develop his confidence. He's not going to develop his game and his confidence by handing the ball off every play. But at the same time, you got to understand situational play calling. If it's, you're in your own end with the lead about to go to the half, don't throw the ball 3 times in a row, which stops the clock every incompletion. And also, they get the ball back quickly and run it in for a touchdown, and they got all the momentum coming out of the half. That's what killed them. And I'm worried that Brian Callahan is going to keep doing the same old, and get fired because of it, because he's stuck in his own ways and too afraid to change.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. There's nothing else to kind of base that off. To go off of that, because you're spot on. I think Brian Callahan's job is in jeopardy because of his getting stuck in his own ways. And I mentioned this to somebody recently about how Callahan spoke, I think it was this past Monday. Yeah, it was this past Monday, and said, he apologized for the elbow thing, the rule about that with El Kyle Manor.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the people upstairs are telling me not to do that. It makes me wonder, like, who is that person upstairs he did not want to out? Because if you're not trying to out anybody, and I mean, don't be a snitch. I get all that. But
yeah, but at the same time, be accountable.
Yeah, when you don't out somebody on your staff, that just goes to show you that you're not, like you said, you're not being accountable. And when you're not being accountable, how can someone trust you as a head coach?
Yeah, it's like being a boss, right? If the boss is not accountable and it's always someone else's fault, then what kind of a boss are you? Let's compare an NFL head coach to a college head coach. Brian Kelly. When Brian Kelly loses a game, whose fault is it?
The team's fault.
Not Brian Kelly's.
No.
Last week, they only scored 23 points against Louisiana Tech. And Brian Kelly goes on and just blasts his assistant coaches. They didn't execute the game plan the way we drew it up and blah, blah, blah. That's not a good coach. Maybe it's a good, game plan coach, but that's not the kind of coach that I would want to play for. I'm not saying Brian Callahan is anywhere near the level of jerk I think Brian Kelly is.
No.
I think Brian Callahan's a really nice guy. From talking to him and being around in press conferences with him, he seems like a very nice guy. That's the thing. I think he's too nice, and I think he's too timid, and I don't think he's willing to call his own shots. It's kind of, oh, what do you guys think? And then they'll tell him, and he'll cave. Remember last year, I believe it was the Jets game, where it was 4th and 1, and Brian Callahan sends the punt team out, and you hear the crowd boo. He calls timeout, and they go for it, and they don't get it. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Brian Callahan caves into peer pressure. And I don't want to see that in an NFL head coach. As an NFL head coach, you're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be the guy calling the shots, especially if you're following the trend of you're calling your own plays. You got to be confident in what you're calling and not this, I don't know, Nick Holtz, what do you think? And what does Nick Holtz do? What does he provide to this team? I don't know Nick Holtz, and I don't know what his game day job entails, but it's not calling plays. And I can't imagine he's doing too much in the booth in between calling plays.
No, he's probably got his, binoculars out there. I think this is 5 yards. Go with this play here. Go with that play here.
Maybe he's like Ask Madden and he'll recommend a play to you, but Brian Callahan's ultimately the one hitting the X button and calling the play. Got to be more accountable if you're going to do that, and don't get stuck in your ways.
Yeah, there can't be a play call by committee. You just can't do that.
Nope.
I'm with you on that.
It
you just
doesn't
can't
work.
do it. No, it doesn't.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You can give us a call or text us with your thoughts on this. What does Brian Callahan need to do to get out of his own way and change the game plan? I want to continue this conversation coming up next. Plus, do players in the Titans locker room trust Brian Callahan? And how long until we can say Brian Callahan has truly lost the room? That's coming up next here on the Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier here with you on a Saturday morning here on 102.5 The Game.
Yeah, some of the veteran guys were talking about the self-inflicted wounds and penalties that were issues last year, repeating themselves in week one. How do you view your role in making sure those things don't continue?
Getting it out of the huddle faster, snapping the ball on time. And then there's also a tempo that you have to play with offensively. We didn't establish that on Sunday, and so that's something that we're looking to establish this week.
Crazy what accountability sounds like, huh? That's Cam Ward talking about the sins that Brian Callahan preaches, self-inflicted negatives. And accountability is not hard if you have it. Weekend Huddle sponsored by LPL Financial and Patrick Conger. Financial planning for tomorrow so that you can enjoy today. Let me also tell you to tune into Sports Talk 830, the Game Nashville app, or theGameNashville.com for NASCAR coverage of the Bass Pro Shops night race tonight at 6:30 p.m. Coverage presented by Michael Waltrip Signature Floor, located inside of Hank Williams Jr. Boogie Bar in downtown Nashville. Welcome back in Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier with you today. Hopefully Parker Kelly will join us here shortly. Talking about Brian Callahan and the level of accountability he needs to have with his team and in his play calling. Let's get to some of your texts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Gunner on our text line says maybe Callahan meant to say they thought the foot went out of bounds first. In that sense, technically both do have to be in at the same time. The elbow can just land in first by itself as long as the foot doesn't hit out first. I agree with you, Gunner. I think that's maybe what he meant to say, and words are hard. I stumble over my words all the time on these airwaves. But when you come out the way that you came out, if you're Brian Callahan, and he was very, very, very positive that he was right, and maybe that's initial reaction after they just lost. But he goes, nope. One elbow does not equal 2 feet. I'm very positive about that. That wasn't his exact words, but that's kind of what I got from it. If you are that confident in your answer, then don't come out the next day and give two different explanations as to why you were wrong. Obviously, he came out and said, well, I what did he say first, Frazier? It was, they told me upstairs and I misinterpreted the rule.
Yeah.
And then later on, he's like, I misspoke. So that's two different answers and two different explanations. Which one is it? You got to be accountable. You got to tell us what the truth is and what's going through your mind. Don't try and tiptoe your way out of this because that's not accountable. That's not what an NFL head coach should do. And if you have a problem with that, then maybe you shouldn't be an NFL head coach.
I'll give him a little grace at the end because he did right the wrong. He did say he apologized for misinterpreting the rule and all that on Monday. I get all that. But overall, you just need to nip it in the bud the first day, right after the game. And I think he just handled it improperly. Do I think Callahan knows the rules? Yes. I hope so.
I think he's very smart.
Yeah, I think he's an intelligent guy. It's just he has to start showing that a little bit more. And I was watching the OTP or was it it might have been the Brian Callahan show with Taylor Zarzer on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they were breaking down defensive coverages. And I saw Callahan really breaking down every nitty-gritty piece to the Denver offense and how the Titans defense reacted to it. And it was almost, I don't want to say disingenuous, but it was almost like he was trying too hard at explaining it.
I think that's my main problem with him.
Yeah.
He tries too hard. And look, I understand the cycle of NFL coaches that has been explained here before. And you fire the mean guy coach and then hire the nice guy, but don't be disingenuous. Be yourself and be accountable and be what they hired you to be. That's just kind of where I stand. Let's go to our phone lines. Adam in Portland, our good friend, is on the phone line. 615-737-1025, of course, is our phone number. Adam, good morning. Go ahead. Adam. All right, we'll try and get Adam in Portland back if he wants to call back in. But I want to get into this. How long until we can say Brian Callahan has lost the locker room? Oh, Adam in Portland is back. Adam, good morning. Sorry we lost you there. Maybe not. Maybe something's up with our phone. Well, I'll get into this while Nick Frazier figures that out. Brian Callahan, how long until we can say he has truly lost the Titans locker room. Do players trust Brian Callahan? Robbie has alluded to this before, and I've been listening to him throughout the week kind of say this. You can't convince me that there aren't players in that Titans locker room that don't have some malice towards Brian Callahan for what he is doing with the play calling. I am willing to bet you that some of these guys are saying, yo, did you hear what coach said about the catch rule? Did you hear what coach explained there? You can't convince me that there aren't players in that locker room that don't have some sort of, I don't want to say malice towards Brian Callahan, but some kind of hesitance to him. All right, let's try time number 3. Adam in Portland on our phone line. Adam, please tell me you're there.
Yeah, I got you this time, buddy.
Let's go. So, okay.
Here's my problem, dude. And I'm the biggest supporter of you guys, right? Like, I want you guys to do well. I'm also going to tell you when you're sucking and when you're sitting here saying he's a smart guy, like, I've got to tell you that sucks. Like, tell me how you think he's smart. And I'm not talking about on a personal level. None of us know him on a personal level. I don't care about him on a personal level. I just care about him as my coach, because that's where I spend all my money and my time and my energy, right?
Right.
As far as it concerns Brian Callahan. And I've seen nothing about him that tells me he's a smart coach, dude. Like, I get it. Every one of these coaches should be able to dissect film. My problem is that my quarterback took 6 sacks the other day, dude. And the other guy that he coached, Joe Burrow, I know we sacked him 8 times. And so he's proven that he cannot keep these quarterbacks safe. And, like, he can't scheme up something to make them successful. So the only thing I'm seeing with him, and winning fixes all this, right? If he scores 40 points tomorrow, I'll stop calling and hating on him. But right now I see Cam have an opportunity to do well, but our quarterbacks historically can't score more than 30 points. Definitely can't score more than 30 if he only scored 13 last week. So winning fixes it. I don't see him doing much, man. I feel like Cam's going to have to do it on his own. He's going to have to overcome Brian Callahan, which I've never felt before with my head coaches. Like, I've never felt like Steve McNair had to overcome Jeff Fisher. So that's where I'm at right now, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just hear you guys say he's a smart guy, and it triggers me because I'm like, he's the dumbest coach we've had here. Like, it's a crazy thing to hear you say. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, you can fight me on it a little bit if you want, but I'm just going, I don't see the intelligence that you guys are talking about.
Well, Adam, hang on, stay there real quick. I think he's an intelligent coach because he's, built his credibility up in the NFL, but obviously it can all dwindle down in a weekend or 2 weekends or whatever it may be. I just look at Callahan as one of those guys that you can kind of, I guess, he's a teachable guy. He's one of those teachable coaches. He shows his intelligence that way by teaching the game. And I think he's intelligent in that factor. When it comes to the game, and I was talking to Connor earlier in the show, I don't know if you heard it or not, but like when it comes down to play calling, all these coaches have their play calling sheets. They have a certain system they go through, like calls 1 through 5 are going to be on the first drive. And if he doesn't improvise on call number 5, it should be call number 7 or 8 on the call sheet. I think that's what he needs to start doing. And I think that's something he needs to start, figuring out as time progresses. But as for right now, I think he's still trying to get the feeling out process. And unfortunately, I know it's year 2, but it's under a quarterback that he chose in the draft. So I feel like I don't want to give him too much grace, but I'm kind of with you too. Like it's got to click at some point.
Well, and then you sit here and look and you go, okay. So I'm just going back, and I should forget some of these things, but like after we won against Snoop Huntley last year, Callahan looked like he wanted to start crying. Like that's the quarterback was the worst quarterback in the league last year. Like we should have beat them by 50. We snuck past a Miami team that was like so wounded, and I don't know. It feels so disingenuous to me, man. Like I see him as one of those dudes that's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing today. When he come out and yelled at the team, it's because other people were saying, I think you should be like, these guys are flat. Like I feel like he's like a very rehearsed person. And I don't know. I don't trust him. Let's win some games. I'll shut up about you, dude. But other than that, I'm going to dissect everything you do. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Adam. Some great points raised there by our good friend Adam in Portland. When I say Brian Callahan is a smart guy, I don't mean that I think he is a brilliant, just Sean McVay level play caller. Masterclass, for lack of a better term. Hi, Parker. Welcome.
There's that word again. Masterclass. Generational.
Yeah.
Cam Ward is generational.
Coach Jay Pierce likes it. I will continue to use it. But when I say Brian Callahan is intelligent, I think he's a smart guy, like book smart. I think he's smart humility wise. When he's out there on the field calling plays, he looks like an antelope in the headlights. Terrified.
Antelope's delicious, by the way.
Is it? I think Terry on our text line points it out the best. The Titans are trying to build a team in the middle of training a coach. I think
Can't do both.
can't do both. And I look, I know you're trying to develop a young quarterback and a young play caller at the same time. Obviously, that's backfiring on you. So as Gunnar points out, three straight dropbacks from the 7 at the end of the first half to give Denver their best field position and a touchdown, and all the momentum is definitely lack of brains.
That also reminds me, back to my point about not having a bell cow running back. That's your problem. You need a running back where you can hand him the ball and he can lean forward and get you 2 to 3 yards.
All you got to do is run the ball twice, and you go to the half with the lead. But I'm tired of talking about last week's game. They play tomorrow. They play the Los Angeles Rams tomorrow. They don't have a right tackle, first of all. They got an all-pro level. The Rams have an all-pro level edge coming at you, and his name is Jared Verse. So you better get ready for that. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can text or call us your thoughts on Brian Callahan and the Titans' chances of beating the Los Angeles Rams tomorrow here at Nissan Stadium. Kickoff is at noon. But coming up next, the takeover we've all been waiting for, as if I'm not, kind of directing the show anyway. Newt's Notes returns, and I got a steamy rant today. I got something I'm fired up about. We'll get to that next here on the Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, and look at this, Parker Kelly joining you right here on this Saturday morning on 102.5 The Game. If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what does. Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, Parker Kelly here with you this morning. And it's time for Newt's Notes, which means I take over the show for the next 12 minutes. So, I got something I'm fired up about today. And it's not something any of us can control, but it's something that just boils my blood. Big slate of college football today, right? Got some massive games. Tennessee and Georgia. Ole Miss and Arkansas play today. That's a rivalry not a lot of people talk about. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Florida and LSU, Vanderbilt and South Carolina. The only game that does not play at 6:30 is Tennessee and Georgia. All of those games, Kentucky and Eastern Michigan, which I'm probably the only one in the studio that's going to watch that. All of those games play at 6:30 tonight. What are we doing? How am I going to watch all of these games? I want to watch all of them, but they all come on at the exact same time. I don't have enough screens to do that. I'm going to have to quad screen it and then pull up like 2 more on a laptop. That's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do that. This is why I'm fired up. We got to get this under control. I understand you have fans across the nation that cheer for different teams at all times, but when you have 3 marquee matchups at least, and that's, not that Ole Miss and Arkansas is a major matchup, but that's an SEC rivalry with SEC championship implications on some level. Then you have Texas A&M and Notre Dame. That game's on Peacock, but that is 2 ranked teams in the top 10, I believe, that are going to go to battle. Then you got Florida and LSU, and Florida kind of sucks, but, that's a night game in Death Valley. You want to see how Billy Napier and Brian Kelly stack up against each other. And then, of course, my team, Kentucky, plays Eastern Michigan at 6:30 as well. And I want to see how that goes. It's Cutter Boley's debut. Not debut, but he's the starter this week. So why are we putting these games all on at the exact same time? Why can't some of these be played at noon? Like, why is Kentucky and Eastern Michigan being played at 6:30 at night? Just play at noon, right?
Just get all the crappy games out of the way.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, I agree. It's 2 teams that not a lot of people outside of those fan bases are going to watch. So why not just put it on at noon? Put it on at noon at like the SEC network or something. Same with Ole Miss and Arkansas. That could easily be your SEC network game at like 3:30. You can watch it at the same time as Tennessee and Georgia. Now, Tennessee and Georgia is going to get a lot of eyes because that's the national game of the week for the most part. I mean, Kirk and Chris are on the call. But like Vanderbilt and South Carolina, I want to watch that because I have a feeling that Vanderbilt is going to go in and win that game. Obviously, the other 2, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, I think that's going to be a great game because that's 2 really good teams. And Texas A&M, I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to make it close. LSU and Florida, that's an SEC rivalry. That's a matchup that I want to watch because that's 2 SEC programs in an electric environment and 2 teams that don't like each other. So why in the hell are we stacking all of these on at the exact same time?
Only thing that could just make me think they're doing this is because of money, but you can't say it's because of money because all your all your games are going to be dispersed on different channels. I mean, it's all under one umbrella of ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, they're all on different channels, but at the same time, like I realize there's network agreements and stuff, but it's just the morality of it. Like, if you're sick in the head like us, you're probably going to want to watch all of these games.
Maybe there's only one guy that can save us.
Who's that?
Scott Hansen.
This is why we need College Red Zone.
God forbid we ever get it, though, because that's too much to figure out. That would be too much on the NCAA's plate.
I mean, come on, man.
The suits in the room couldn't figure that out if they tried.
I bet our suit could figure it out.
I agree.
What's your take on this, Parker? I mean, like, you're more sick in the head than I am when it comes to college football. You'll probably be up at 9:30 tonight watching Arizona State play football.
Oh, no, I'm watching Minnesota Cal tonight at 9:30, but I'll probably have that one on in the background. But yes, no, I hate it. I'm going to do what you said. I'm going to have the quad box going on YouTube TV. God bless YouTube TV, by the way. God bless them.
It's God's invention.
Yeah. And then I'm probably going to have my laptop pulled up, and if there's a 6th game on, I'll probably have my phone. So I hate it. I really do, because there are a bunch of good games on at 11 that I want to watch. There at 2:30, you have Georgia, Tennessee. You have USF and Miami at 3:30. Just throw another game in that 3:30 window and have 3 games going on and then 4 at night. I'd be fine with that.
Here's where I'm thankful for MTSU football. They come on at 4, which you can hear it over on 93.3 Hits. Totally Hits with Chip Walters and Big Joe on the call. I'll be producing that one. They are the bridge, sort of, between Tennessee and Georgia and the nightcap of games. That's one you can throw on in the background, cheer on the Blue Raiders. I think they're going to win today against Nevada. Nevada is not very good. But then we get to the nightcap, and there's like 5 games I want to watch. And I understand it's a very loaded slate today, and there's a lot of great matchups, and such is life in college football. Last week was kind of perfect for me because, let's see, who played last week? It was Kentucky and Ole Miss. They kicked off at 3:30. So I watched that one. And then the night game was Oklahoma and Michigan. So we ended up watching that one. There were really only 2 games I ended up watching that day. Now there's like 7 I want to watch today. So I don't know why we're stacking 5 of them at the same time.
It just like, I think Jake Lyman mentioned this. You're overstimulating your brain watching all these games.
Yeah.
I can't do it. If I had to do an octo box plus 2 more on top of that, God bless you, Parker. I don't know how you do it, man.
He's sick.
I don't know how Scott Hansen does it, because when they go to the octo box on NFL Red Zone, he's literally looking at 8 different games at one time. I don't know how he does it.
Red Zone is my favorite program of all time. It is truly brilliant. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but my plan on NFL Sundays is, well, tomorrow I'll start with the Titans game and just put that on the big screen and then pull up Red Zone on my laptop. Then in the afternoon window, it's all Red Zone. You're locked in. And then that gets you to Sunday Night Football. And tomorrow, who plays on Sunday Night Football?
It is the Vikings and the Falcons, I believe.
Well, I may not do Red Zone tomorrow because the Eagles and Chiefs play tomorrow. Speaking of, let me tell you, tomorrow, catch the Eagles versus Chiefs for the NFL Game of the Week on ESPN 102.5 The Game at 3:25 p.m. NFL Game of the Week is presented by Circa Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. That's ad placement right there.
Beautiful.
That's going to be I'm excited for that one. But as far as today, like, so many games I want to watch, all on at the same time. So I ask for my personal use to Charlie Baker in the NCAA. Stop putting all these games on at 6:30. Spread them out. Spread the wealth. And save the Ducks.
Save the Ducks.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can text or call us. Any personal beef with the NCAA for putting 8 different games you want to watch on at 6:30? Because I'm kind of fired up about it, and I've worked myself up about it this morning. But you know what will cool me down? Our weekend poll question. Your answers to our weekend poll questions. You can still go out and vote. We have it on our Twitter. What is the best traditional college football helmet? Our options are Notre Dame, Michigan, Alabama, or other. And Frazier, looks like you have voted for other. And I expect a long explanation of why you have chosen said helmet coming up next. We will get to your answers of our poll question coming up next here on the Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, and Nick Frazier with you here on this Saturday morning on 102.5 The Game. Weekend Huddle, second hour right here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, Parker Kelly with you on this fine Saturday morning. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Great first hour. Talked a lot of Titans. Talked a lot of Brian Callahan. Talked about my personal beef with Charlie Baker and the NCAA for scheduling 8 different games that I want to watch at 6:30 tonight. Not 8, but it's a good chunk. So, as we do in the second hour, the first segment of the second hour every week, we get to your poll question. Our poll question this week, brought to you by us. Who has the best traditional helmet in all of college football? Your options were as follows. Notre Dame, the Golden Domes of the Fighting Irish. Michigan, the winged Navy and maize helmets, which apparently they stole from Delaware. The Hen Den, as Parker calls it. And Alabama, the Crimson Tide, the classic crimson helmets with white stripes and numbers, or other. And if you say other, I expect you to either call in or text us 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com to explain yourself. Nick Frazier, I want to start with you because I see you have quote tweeted with a different helmet. No questions asked. Please elaborate.
No questions asked. It's Penn State. Penn State, probably the most traditional helmet on planet Earth. I guess you could say the blue face mask, white helmet with a blue stripe down the middle. It doesn't get as classic as that. I think that's at its purest form. I think white helmets are clean. They're sleek. They're everything college football should be. It compensates the uniforms well because they don't have any names on the back of their uniforms. It's just the jersey block numbers and a blue jersey or a white jersey, and they keep the white pants. Now, I do remember Penn State doing the alternative uniforms where it had the name on the back one year with James Franklin. I think it was his first or second year there. And then he had like the block numbers on the helmet. I thought that was okay, but I'm sticking with traditional. I think when you look at Penn State and you think of their white helmets, it makes you think of, and nonetheless, all this is with an asterisk, but yeah, Joe Paterno days of all the national titles they had. I just think those are the glory days of Penn State. And I wouldn't say Penn State's out of their glory days now. I mean, James Franklin is still a good coach. He puts together a good program, but they just can't win the big one. So we'll see what happens. But overall, that's my pick. Penn State's helmets.
I should probably reveal the results. This poll will continue towards the end of the show. Through 40 votes right now, Alabama leads the pack. 30.6% of voters are showing their Southern bias in voting for the Crimson Tide. In second is other. However, none of you have explained what other is. So that could be Ohio State, it could be Penn State, it could be Texas, it could be anyone. Tied for third, and I guess last, is Notre Dame and Michigan. Now, if I were to have to pick, Notre Dame would be my answer. I love the shiny golden domes of the Fighting Irish. It's iconic. You see it they have the green light behind them when they come out. Here come the Irish of Notre Dame with the blue top, the gold bottoms. It's iconic. So Notre Dame would be my pick. Parker Kelly, what is your pick?
Notre Dame is the answer for me as well because there's nothing like the gold shiny chrome of Notre Dame.
Yep.
And when I think of traditional college football, I think of the movie Rudy. And where did Rudy play? Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the answer for me. Penn State was also a good one.
Yeah.
I think of Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, Penn State. Or I already said Penn State. Those are the 5 teams I think of when I think of traditional college football helmets.
Yeah. I wanted to throw LSU in there too because I love LSU's helmet, the gold with the LSU on the top, and then it has the Tiger logo. I think it's awesome. I really like Florida's orange helmets too, and not exactly traditional, but I really like those helmets. Ohio State is the other one that comes to mind for me. If you watch the Ohio State game today, the crowd is actually patterning the striped helmet. Like most of the crowd is wearing silver. And then in the south end zone, I believe they're going to wear the stripe. So some will be in red, some will be in black, some will be in white. It's going to be awesome. And Ohio State's one of those helmets that just gets more iconic as the year goes on, as they add the Buckeye leaves. I'd like for an Ohio State to text in, an Ohio State fan to text in and explain to us how those Buckeye leaves exactly work because I know they get points for something, but
It's like defense and offensive, accomplishments.
yeah,
I think every university has stuff like that. I know. Was it Sanford, the Bulldogs?
ask Joe.
That's a big Joe question right there.
There's one team that's a Bulldog. It might be Georgia. I'm not too sure, but they have like those little bones on the back of their helmets, and they just kind of go up like the back.
There's a lot of teams that do that. Pitt does it. They have the Panther logo. Clemson does it. Michigan does it on some level. North Carolina did do it. I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but they did do it with the foot logo. So there's a lot of teams across the nation that do it, but Ohio State is the most iconic that does it.
Yeah, they are. I know in high school we used to do the shamrock and put it on the back.
Did you?
Yeah, it was Irish.
JP2 does it right now. They do they put shields on there.
That's pretty cool.
Actually, we did that at DCA. Now that I think about it, it wasn't until we didn't get a lot of them, but we did it a little bit.
Did you get them for offensive master classes?
Yes, all of them. all 10 games that we played in the regular season were offensive master classes. So we got 10.
I'm so glad that Coach Pierce brought that up because I just said it completely unintentional. I was like, Coach, you guys put on an offensive master class tonight. Talk to us about how your offense was clicking. And he's like, hey, that's a great word. I've never heard that one before.
He told me the assistant coaches were laughing in the background after they heard that.
I told him, I was like, Coach, go ask your players. I guarantee you a lot of them use that word. It's just a youthful term. It's something that they use. We should have asked our friend Drew if he uses that term. But I'm trying to think of I hate to say it, but you could throw Tennessee in this conversation. The white with the orange power tee, white face mask. It's a cool helmet. Hate to say it.
Do you think they'll ever bring back the orange helmet with the white tee?
I hate the orange helmet.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't mind seeing it because I'm not a superstitious person.
It's
so
very.
I understand what happened the last time Tennessee wore those helmets, but I'm not superstitious.
It's very split, and I have a lot of Vols friends that hate the orange helmet specifically because of the superstition that it provides. Last time they wore it was against South Carolina in Columbia when Hendon Hooker tore his ACL. Superstition. That said, when I look at that helmet, I just don't like how it looks. It takes away from the tradition. And I realize I can contradict myself by saying I think Tennessee's all black is awesome. But I just don't like the orange. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's fair. I think if there's another team out there in college football that has a nice helmet, traditionally, I try to lean away from the white helmets, but there's something about
Tejas.
Yeah, there's something about that. There's something about Texas.
It's the Longhorn logo that does it for me.
I don't know if it's the white on white combo with the white face mask, white helmet.
White on white is just a lethal combo. Like it looks good every time. Now, I mean, Penn State they have white on navy, so they have the navy face mask, and it looks good. But Texas has the white on white. Tennessee has the white on white. Auburn sometimes wears the white on white, and it looks awesome. In the NFL, the Bills do it, and it looks awesome. I always wanted the Titans to do it, and they never did because when they had the white helmet, it was a navy face mask. Yeah. They should do white. When we get new uniforms, do either a red face mask or a white face mask.
Stormtrooper it up.
Oh my God, Stormtroopers. Kentucky will do it sometimes too. They'll when they wear all white, they'll wear the white face mask, and it looks remarkable.
Back in the day when Mississippi State, it was during the Dak Prescott era, like right before he got there. They called the Texas A&M and Mississippi State game the Snow Bowl, which made no sense, I guess. Well, I understand why. There's a long lineage of, they played in the snow in I think September or something. But Mississippi State wore all white uniforms at home.
Yeah.
And it was Johnny Manziel's sophomore year, so it was Heisman year.
Yeah.
And he wore all black. A&M's jerseys that year were sweet. But Mississippi State had
because they had the stripes on the shoulders.
Yes.
I miss those. Those were awesome.
Yeah.
Back when they were with Nike, I think. Or were they with Adidas?
Both Adidas. Yeah, both were Adidas. Yeah. Mississippi State had this silver. It was actually this model, actually.
Yeah.
It was this right here. It was silver and white.
Silver pants. Side statement. Silver pants always look good. Like Mississippi State will wear it sometimes with the maroon tops and the gray pants. It looks phenomenal. Ohio State, of course, does it. You have a lot of teams around the nation that do it. Let's get to some of your texts. Huffy and Dixon on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, I like the Nebraska helmet. The Netflix helmet, as I call it. It looks like the Netflix N. But I agree with you, Huffy. I do like Nebraska's helmet. I like Nebraska's jerseys. I'll show my nerdism for a little bit. In the new game, they've updated a lot of jerseys, and they put Nebraska's black shirts uniforms in there, which is a black top and black bottoms with red stitching, and it has the skull and crossbones logo on it and a white helmet, but instead of the red end, it's black. It looks awesome.
Really?
Super cool. Nebraska's an underrated program. I wish they would be good again. Hopefully Matt Rule can get them going.
Hopefully Mahomes Jr. can get them back to relevancy.
God.
You know the Matt Rule year 3 rule, right?
No, explain.
So it goes back to his Temple days, but in Temple, they were 1-11 his first year, and he turned them around in year 3 and got them to national relevancy. Do you remember that game they played They actually hosted Notre Dame, and game day was there. I believe it was when Deshaun Kaiser was the starter.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
Green Bay legend.
Then he went to Baylor. They were 1-11 his first year, and by year 3, they were 11 and they won the Big 12, 11-2, and they I think they played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Now year 3 at Nebraska, high expectations. Some are predicting them to make the playoffs. I'm not that bold.
Yeah.
But it's worked out. It's worked out where he's been, so we'll have to see how it pans out.
Well, speaking of helmets, they're showing Oregon right now. Oregon's wearing the throwback yellow helmets. They look fantastic. Non-traditional helmet, but Oregon, I mean, you can always count on them to have a sweet, sweet helmet.
Bold option for the green face mask.
Yeah. Look like the Packers.
A little bit.
Kind of. I would have gone gold face mask. Just commit. Just go with it. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll continue to take your answers on the best helmet. I guess we're just broadening to our helmets. Best traditional helmet in college football today. Again, Alabama leads the poll right now by 30, or they are ahead with 30.6%. But you can continue to vote. That poll will continue on throughout the show. But coming up next, we'll stick with college football. There are 2 very big games for our 2 local teams here in Tennessee. Vanderbilt headed to Columbia to take on South Carolina, and of course, Tennessee defending the home turf in Neyland against the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll break both of those games down coming up next right here on the Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. Heading to the Titans game tomorrow, be sure to stop by John Bon Jovi's before the Titans take on the Rams for the 102.5 The Game pregame show with Big Joe Dubin, Derek Mason, and Chris Sanders from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Pregame show is brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment, Old National Bank, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, and Tennessee Brew Works. Welcome back in. Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game on this beautiful Saturday morning. Beautiful day out.
It is.
It's going to be hot, but not a cloud in the sky. Sun is shining, and the sun is shining on 2 local programs here in the state of Tennessee on this beautiful college football day. But real quick, there is a text on the helmet front that I want to get into from Weston Hermitage on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. He says, quote, "As much as I hear y'all on the traditional uniforms and white-on-white uniforms, when I watched the Packers play the other night, I was disgusted by those jerseys. White on white for Green Bay, in my opinion, is not a good look at all and looks gross."
Horrid.
Which I agree.
Horrid.
It was terrible. "I much prefer the brighter and darker colors over white. And man, oh man, I hate all white helmets. Not white. All white helmets." He also says, "I would love to see the Titans in a Columbia blue jersey with a candy red helmet." I don't know how I feel about a red helmet for the Titans. I think I kind of want to see the oil Derek helmet.
Yeah.
But to your point, Wes, we Parker and I texted Robbie Stanley about this, or we tweeted at him about it. Horrible uniform combination for the Green Bay Packers.
Here's the deal. I liked it.
Really?
I do. I like the white on white combo for the Packers. The only issue is don't do it for the first, I guess, primetime game of the year. I get it's like color rush in a roundabout way. You're kind of pleasing all the eyeballs out there, but if you're playing in Lambeau Field, you got to wear your traditional Wisconsin cheddar yellow.
Yep, that's exact
hat.
See, to me, if you are playing in Lambeau Field, you have to wear gold, green, gold, because that is the tradition. That's the Green Bay Packers, and it looks phenomenal. And even on the road, you wear gold, the white jersey, and the gold pants. I'm very traditional when it comes to this.
Did that violate your Newt's rule of fandom or jerseys or whatever? Didn't you have you said you hate when teams wear white at home?
Yeah, Newt's rule book of fandom.
Yeah, I mean, there are some exceptions. Like LSU does it, and I get that.
The Cowboys do it.
Cowboys do it. Georgia Tech does it. There are some exceptions, but I don't want to see Tennessee wearing white at home. I don't want to see Green Bay wearing white at home. But enough jersey talk. Let's talk about actual football. Vanderbilt headed to Columbia today to take on the Gamecocks of South Carolina. There's a lot riding on this one if you think about it. Vanderbilt, the line has gone down significantly. Started out as an 8-point dog. Now, last I looked, the line 2.5 in favor of the Gamecocks. Gamecocks are minus 2.5-point favorites. I don't know, man. I've just got a feeling that Clark Lee and Diego Pavia are going to go into this one and come out victorious because they've done it so far. And I heard Jake Lyman talking about this earlier in this week. Vanderbilt is collecting these anthems. Like they've taken down Virginia Tech. They now claim Enter Sandman. I just feel like they're going to go in and collect Sandstorm from the Gamecocks. And I feel like the underdog is going to prevail today.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I really am. This Vanderbilt team, and I was again our I guess not ombudsman, but our side guy, Jake Lyman. He's well versed with Vanderbilt. I was talking to him. I was like, man, this is a really good, I guess, precursor going into South Carolina. We're talking about Virginia Tech because Kyron Jones is like the Dollar General version of
Will Levis.
Will Levis, but I would say more of Lenore Sellers. Just to have similar play arts where they can have design runs, throw the ball. And honestly, Vanderbilt did a good job of eliminating Kyron Jones' run game a little bit. And if Vandy can do that with Lenore Sellers and take away those design runs, I think they have a really good shot at being South Carolina on the road. It's a tough environment, but if you can go into Virginia Tech and win handedly like that, why not, right? Why not?
I just got a feeling, man. Like Diego Pavia thrives in these situations from what I've seen. Thrived against Alabama. Granted, that was at home, but they were massive underdogs. Played well against Texas. They didn't win that game, but he played well and almost beat Texas last year. LSU, they hung with them for a little bit. And then this year they go out and just dominate Virginia Tech, who they were underdogs in. They play well as the underdog, especially on the road. And look, Columbia is a tough environment. I've never been there. I'd like to go there. I want to complete the SEC World Tour. That's what I want to do. I'm 4 stadiums in, about to be 5 in late October.
What is the 5th?
The Krog.
Oh, okay.
Commonwealth Stadium, baby. The Krog.
Yeah, the Krog. I've never heard it. Someone call it the Krog.
I'm headed down to it's a joke. I'm headed down to Lexington to watch the Vols beat up on my Cats. But regardless, it'll be a fun time. The other ones I've gone to, this is such a tangent. Vanderbilt, of course, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bryant-Denny, Alabama.
Really?
Bryant-Denny's
That's
awesome.
a good one.
Bryant-Denny's awesome.
I want to go between the hedges at some point.
It's awesome. I was there for MTSU a couple years ago. It was actually, we didn't know it at the time, but it was Nick Saban's last home opener. So that was really cool. I have that forever. But back on the Vanderbilt front, they thrive in these situations, in these tough environments. Like, I just feel like South Carolina hasn't shown much to this point to make me believe they are as advertised. Lenora Sellers has kind of struggled as of late. And look, they could very well go out there and put on a dominant performance and just blow out Vanderbilt. But I got a gut feeling that Vanderbilt's just going to walk away with a win today.
Yeah. With this, they both have a common opponent in Virginia Tech. And Vanderbilt beat up on Virginia Tech last week, outgained them by 300 yards in the second half, emptied out Lane Stadium. And then you have South Carolina, who only beat Virginia Tech 24-11 and have yet to get Lenora Sellers going to the level that they would hope. My heart is telling me South Carolina, but it won't be by much. I am picking South Carolina to win this game. I reserve the right to be wrong just in case I am. But I'm picking South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm with Connor on this. Vanderbilt, I think, gets it done today. And, one thing I did not mention is that MK Young, they call his name is McKylan Young.
Yeah.
Jake Lamb saying they call him MK.
MK.
This dude is one of those guys that Pavia, reiterated in, SEC media days that he's one of the New Mexico State transfers, didn't play last season. And maybe he's a late bloomer, but having 8 carries for 95 yards against Virginia Tech, you now have a 2-headed monster at the running back position between Cedric Alexander and MK.
I love me some Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, that dude's good.
Because
he's electric.
If you can ground and pound with Alexander and then just take the top off the defense by, out of the backfield running the ball or throwing it out of the backfield, whatever, there you go, MK Young.
And the offensive line for Vanderbilt, not built like Vanderbilt offensive lines in the past. Those are some big boys up front. So if they get that run game going, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for South Carolina.
If only they had Pat Coogan on their offense.
That's right. They don't have Pat Coogan.
The other game locally, of course, is going to kick off at about 3:30. College game day is there right now in Knoxville. Tennessee and Georgia in Neyland. I've kind of come around. Yesterday, I was like, oh, Georgia's going to blow out Tennessee. I've kind of, lowered my expectations, reeled it back in, and thought environment is going to play a factor into this one, right? Neyland is a tough environment. Tennessee's a good team. Georgia's a good team. On paper, I still think Georgia's the better team. I think Georgia wins this one, but I don't think it's going to be a major blow. I think it's going to be close. I could see it being like a 28-24 kind of game. I know yesterday I came out and said, oh my God, Tennessee's so overrated and and I still believe that to a T. I think Tennessee is generating a lot of hype in the area because they've won 2 games in a row against teams that they're better than. And Georgia has too. Look, Austin Peay is not as good as Georgia is. And they struggled against Austin Peay last week. But I just think when you compare apples to apples, you compare the running backs, your cousin Nate Frazier on Georgia compared to the Tennessee running backs. I just think that plays a factor. Defense is going to be a key here. And look, Tennessee's got some key inactives. Jermod McCoy is out. Ricky Gibson's out. David Sanders on the offensive line is out. So they've got some depth issues going into this one. I just like my gut feeling for Vanderbilt. My gut feels that Georgia's going to pull this one out.
Yeah, I'll refrain from mine. I'll let Parker go. Go ahead, Parker, because this is Tennessee's game.
Man, let me tell you what. I usually like to stick to my own opinions, but I was hearing Joe Rexrode yesterday on Robbie and Rexrode, he was doing some unthinkable things to my mental for this game. He was getting me fired up in ways I didn't know I could get fired up. Okay.
Coach Joe,
Here's the thing.
should we get him a visor?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I picked Georgia to win this game by a field goal. I think it is going to be very, very close. Here's the thing about this. Georgia has not looked good their first 2 weeks. They have yet to utilize the tight ends the way that Georgia typically utilizes their tight ends. Joey Aguilar has been running this offense much better than I've seen Joe Milton operate it, much better than Nico has operated it. I'd rather pick Kirby Smart and be wrong than pick against him and be wrong. So I think Kirby Smart and Georgia, they're just going to find a way to win, unfortunately, and they win by a field goal.
Wow. Okay. I think we're all on Georgia then. I thought he was going Tennessee.
Is this the part where you say Georgia's going to blast Tennessee?
Ask me at the end of the show. I may switch my opinion.
See,
this is a pick 'em for me.
Connor does lean the way I just said there. He kind of just gave away. I do think Georgia's going to win this game in the second half. I think the first half, Tennessee's going to be leading at halftime. I really do.
Really?
I think the atmosphere.
I can see that.
Yeah, atmosphere is going to play a factor into this. I think Aguilar's going to be slinging the ball a little bit to the point where, maybe Tennessee's wide receivers show up, and maybe that's the defining factor. But I think overall, Georgia wins this game. I don't think it's close in the second half. I think Tennessee leads at halftime by either 3 to 7 points, a one-possession game. And then the second half, I think Georgia starts running the ball a little bit, wearing down Tennessee's defense, and then just takes the top off by throwing a deep one.
Yeah, I think we're kind of feeling the same way. I've come back down to earth a little bit. We're not doing I didn't fully say it yesterday, but I'm not doing Georgia's just so much better. Oh my God, they're going to blow them out. I think it's going to be close, but I just think talent's going to take over.
Here will be the difference. If Tennessee can connect on some deep balls, at least 2 or 3, I think that they can win this game if they do that. But that has to happen.
Yeah,
they'll run the ball, but they have to connect on deep balls.
Oh, they're going to run the ball. That's the Josh Heupel system. But you're right. If you connect on some of those deep balls, momentum swings your way, energy swings your way, and that's the path to victory.
And that's what he's right about that. I think that's going to happen in the first half. I think Tennessee's going to be slinging the rock pretty good for the most part.
Crowd will be into it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Georgia, take the crowd out.
Yeah.
Then we'll be a non-factor.
Yeah. And so that's why I think Georgia's just going to ground and pound second half and just really wear down that Tennessee defense. I mean, you're without 2 starting defensive backs, Jermod McCoy and
Ricky Gibson.
Thank you. I just
also have some injuries along the interior defensive line. So that's something to look out for as well.
Yeah. Depth's going to play a factor here. And David Sanders, the true freshman, he was the guy that committed on Pat McAfee's show to Tennessee, and everyone thought he was going to defect to Colorado, and he committed to Tennessee anyway. He is out today. So going to be interesting to see how depth plays a factor into the Tennessee-Georgia game. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can text or call us. Your thoughts on today's matchups, Vanderbilt in South Carolina, and, of course, Tennessee and Georgia. When we come back, we'll get into the other 18 matchups that kick off all at 6:30 tonight. This is the Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, Parker Kelly here with you on this Saturday morning on 102.5 The Game. This is the song that's going to be playing in our ears tomorrow at noon when you watch the Titans take on the Los Angeles Rams. Weekend Huddle brought to you by LPL Financial. Wealth management advice for you no matter your current situation or stage in life. Coming up after us at 11 a.m., it's Wisconsin versus Alabama for the college football game of the week on 102.5 The Game, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants and Circus Sportsbook Kentucky. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and thegamenashville.com. Welcome back in Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, Parker Kelly here with you on this beautiful Saturday morning. A great day to play some football. So we've kind of talked about the two local teams playing today, both in respective big games. Let's talk about the other 36 matchups that all happen to play at 6:30 p.m., which is a personal beef. Not actually, but there are two in particular that I want to focus in on. Texas A&M at Notre Dame. They had two South Bend and an underrated quarterback matchup, if you ask me. Marcel Reed for A&M versus C.J. Carr for Notre Dame. And then, of course, Florida heading to Death Valley to take on the Bayou Bengals in the LSU Tigers. Texas A&M, we'll start with that one. I think Texas A&M is a playoff team. I think they're that good. That said, Notre Dame is coming off of a loss and then a bye week. They are well rested, and they've had 2 weeks to let a loss boil over in their brains. They're pissed off. I just feel like this is going to be a Fighting Irish game.
Yeah, I could see
And I think
that.
it's going to be low scoring, too. Kind of like last year.
Yeah, I'm a little worried from an A&M standpoint. If you look at your quarterback, Marcel Reed, obviously listening to Pete Thamel and looking on his Twitter, I didn't understand this report. He goes, yeah, Marcel Reed was a full participant this week in practice. They thought he was injured, but he's not. Like, that's essentially what he said. And I'm just like, if he's good to go, then why report about it?
Right.
That's what I was. I don't know, Parker, I don't know if you heard that or not, but like Pete Thamel was saying that, oh, yeah, Marcel Reed maybe was dinged up, but he was good to go this week and he'll be good to go tonight. I'm just like, don't report that. That's just, there's no need for that at all. So
come on, Pete. Be better.
If there is
the authority, Pete Thamel.
If there's something going on with Marcel Reed, then I'd be concerned if I'm an A&M fan. But if he's healthy, I don't see why A&M wouldn't win this game.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think home environment's going to play a factor. Notre Dame's got a mentality, not to say their backs are against the wall, but I feel like if they lose this game, they are on the playoff bubble at the very least.
Notre Dame?
Yeah. Like, this is the downside of not being in a conference. You don't have a conference championship to bail you out. You lose 1 to 2 games, you're on the bubble, 2 being the absolute maximum amount of games you can lose. If you go 9-3, you're out. Mm-hmm. You're not making the college football playoff. So I think back's against the wall for Notre Dame, and I think they feed Jeremiah Love a little bit more. That was my problem with them against Miami, is he had like 10 carries for 29 yards. It was bad. They would not feed him the ball, and he's their best player. So I think Notre Dame is going to kind of change some things. Marcus Freeman's a good coach. I like Marcus Freeman. I like Mike Elko on the other side.
Yeah.
And look, I think A&M is a sneaky playoff team. I think they can squeeze in at like the 10 through 12 range. But I just think today is the Fighting Irish's day.
I do as well. I think this is interesting because these are two teams who basically play the same style of football. They love to run the football. They love to play good defense, and occasionally they'll have their quarterback hit you for a vertical pass down the field. I think Notre Dame has their backs against the wall. They had an extra week of preparation for this game. It's at home. Marcus Freeman is going to get those guys fired up. I think it was interesting because Mike Elko last year when they lost their bowl game to USC said that they were not going to get beat on defense. So I think it really boils down to the offense of Texas A&M. Is Marcel Reed going to be able to kill you through the air? They're going to run the football, but is he going to make the pass plays when needed? I struggle to believe that that is going to happen. Give me the Fighting Irish.
The other matchup later tonight is Kentucky and Eastern Michigan. I'm just kidding. I think we know how that one is going to go. At least we hope. Florida is heading to Death Valley to take on LSU. It's funny. I asked Trey Wallace yesterday, who was great, by the way. I want to talk to that guy all day about everything ever. I asked him yesterday, what does a loss mean for both teams' coaches? Billy Napier coming off of a loss to USF. I think the hot seat is hotter than ever for Billy Napier. If he goes out and loses this game, I think you're probably done with him. Yeah. He'll finish the season, but I think you're probably done. Really?
Yeah, they're going to get rid of him in the middle of the season.
Mm,
I think the longer you keep Billy Napier around, the worse it is for DJ Lagway. I
That's
think
true.
you're hurting a young quarterback in that system. And I'm sure you heard Billy Napier say this in his post-game press conference. Someone asked him, "Are you still going to be the play caller?" He goes, "Absolutely. I'm still calling
Yeah.
plays."
you want to talk about someone stuck in their ways,
Mhm.
coaching-wise. Billy, Sunbelt Billy is your guy.
That's good. I have to remember that one. Sunbelt Billy.
But on the other side, Brian Kelly, that's another guy stuck in his ways. Brian Kelly, I would expect them to win this game because I think they're a lot better than Florida talent-wise, but I'm still not in on LSU. I think they're going to go out and go 10-2, 9-3. Maybe they'll make the playoff, but I don't think they're going to do much. And at this point in Brian Kelly's tenure at LSU, it's championship or bust. And Brian Kelly, throughout his entire career, has proven to be the guy that can't bring home the big one and can't win the big games. This is a big game tonight. They're favored. They're going to win, I think. Playing at home at night. Florida's struggling. But as we get further into the season and you see LSU playing SEC competition like Alabama, and I think they play Auburn at some point, Auburn is supposedly pretty good now. Teams like that, Georgia, then I think you can kind of see that Brian Kelly is just same old Brian Kelly. And it's never going to be his fault because he has John Calipari syndrome.
That's so funny you brought that up because after their win last week versus Louisiana Tech, they only scored 23, won the game 23-7.
Slammed his assistant coaches.
After the postgame, just slamming his assistant coaches in typical John Calipari fashion. And then you look over to Florida's side, and after their loss versus USF, they're not going to change anything.
It's the opposite.
It's just two different styles right there. But I'm going to give the edge to, I think this is going to be a dogfight because Florida, wounded animal mode. You have LSU who's at home, Death Valley at night. That's not something you want to mess around with. I think LSU is going to win the game.
I would pick LSU as well.
Yeah. The logical pick is LSU. Something is telling me Florida might upset the apple cart.
Are you hungry?
I mean, I am a little hungry. I'm drinking coffee, yeah. But Billy Napier with his back against the wall saying, I'm still the play caller. I want to still prove that I am the coach of Florida University. Maybe they don't win. Maybe it's like a 3-point game they lose by. But then that's only going to make Florida fans mad. But it's going to show people like Scott Strickland, who's the AD, saying, oh, he only lost by 3. He is our guy still. We're going to let this play out another week.
He was competitive with the number 3 team in the nation.
Yeah, see.
There you go, Billy.
And we don't know how good LSU really is. I think that game last week against Louisiana Tech, to me, didn't prove anything.
I think they were looking ahead to this week, thinking this would be a ranked matchup. And then obviously Sunbelt Billy and the Gators go out and crap the bed against USF. But USF's got a big game today, too, against Miami. Don't really have time to talk about that one, but Miami's going to kick their teeth in, I think.
They're going to pants them on national television, on the CW network?
Is right after
on the CW, baby.
Right after, as Jake Lyman puts it, reruns of Gossip Girl and One Tree Hill. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Last call for phone calls and texts. If you want to give your thoughts on Brian Callahan, college football, whatever you want to talk about, we will do it. But coming up next, as we wrap up every show each and every week on Saturdays, it's Where Are They Now? The victorious Nick Frazier. For maybe, what is this, like your second time hosting for actually being victorious?
Second time hosting, first time victor.
Yes. The first time victor, Nick Frazier, will host Where Are They Now? Parker Kelly and I will go head to head, and that's coming up next right here on the Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Later today on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, the Nashville Sounds take on Gwinnett at First Horizon Park with the first pitch at 6:35 p.m. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at theGameNashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Let me also tell you that the Commodores will face ranked South Carolina tonight. Pregame starts at 5 p.m. on 102.5 Game, and kickoff is at 6:45. Vanderbilt football brought to you by Gary Force Acura, Jim Kelly's Steakhouse, and Smoky Mountain Tops. Appropriate that you play that song, as coming up right after us is our game of the week, Alabama hosting the Wisconsin Badgers. But as we wrap things up here on this Saturday morning to get you set for football, we play the original, the first ever, Where Are They Now? Copyright 102.5 The Game. You will be receiving a cease and desist in the mail, Tennessee Titans. Reminder of the rules. Nick Frazier is going to host. He has 5 athletes and or coaches. We will have to tell him where they are now. The first 3 are in North America. That's the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And the last 2 can be anywhere throughout the world. It's 1 point for specific league and 2 points for the specific team. In the event of a tiebreaker, Nick Frazier will provide a career path of a respective athlete. Our job, Parker Kelly and I, will be to name that player.
And before we start, I just got very unfortunate news on my old iPhone here. I have a friend that has been roped into a fall wedding today.
Oh my God.
One of the worst times to do it. Very selfish mood on behalf of the bride.
Selfish move.
And just RIP to him real quick.
I mean, prayers are up. That's truly, truly a national tragedy. And I can't say enough how disappointed I am in that bride. What a selfish decision. But with that, we play Where Are They Now? Hit it. Nick Frazier, take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much. First on the list, I'll give you a little bit of an easy one. Baseball player in North America.
Okay.
And let's say he is an American, so we'll go there. Pitcher Shane Bieber. He's been in the league for a long time. Where is Shane Bieber?
Oh, I think I know where Shane Bieber is, but I don't know if he got traded since then. But I'll stick with my gut. He is in the MLB, playing for the Cleveland Guardians.
Okay.
He is in the MLB for the Chicago Cubs.
Both of you get a point. He is not playing for the Guardians and not playing for the Cubs.
Is it Toronto Blue Jays?
The Toronto Blue Jays.
Swear.
Yep.
I knew it.
This year was the year he went to the Blue Jays.
I knew it.
All right, you both have a point there. All right, next on the list, Nashville's very own. Went to Ravenwood High School. Chris Rowland. Where is Chris Rowland playing today? Where is he now? Football player.
Football player. Where do you play college?
It's TSU.
Yeah. Chris Rowland, I'll say he's in the CFL.
Okay.
For the Montreal Alouettes.
He's in North America, correct? This is part of the
how the game works.
Chris Rowland, yeah.
Not overseas.
He's in the UFL for the Michigan Panthers.
Parker does get a point. He is in the UFL, plays for the DC Defenders. He was their leading receiver last year. Is a 2025 champion in the UFL, so DC Defenders there. So Parker's up 2-1.
Attaboy, Chris. Way to represent.
Next one on the list, another baseball player, Jake McCarthy. Where is Jake McCarthy?
Who in the hell is that?
Exactly. Where are they now, baby?
I'll say he's in AAA baseball.
You want a little more information on him? He's from Scranton, PA. So
the Electric City?
The Electric City. Went to school at University of Virginia. And
Jake Lyman would be so mad at you right now.
I know, yeah. And then he was drafted by the Pirates in 2015 to the baseball draft.
Okay, I'll say he's in AAA baseball. That's MILB. You know what? Give me Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Oh,
the Angels organization.
Okay. Parker?
I'm going to say he's in AAA for Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Incorrect on the both of you. He is in the MLB playing for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, so close.
So, yeah.
I knew it was a team out west.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. He starts for him, so he's batting .262. Now we go to overseas. I'm very excited for this.
Oh, God.
One. Yes. All right. First on the list, we have a soccer player,
Oh God.
Let's go.
Cameron Carter Vickers.
Who in the
Exactly. Where is Cameron Carter Vickers playing today?
Oh my God.
He's doing this on purpose.
I know.
This is the only soccer one I have. So
You know, that sounds like such a Premier League name. So I'll go, he's playing in the Premier League, which is in England,
okay.
for Arsenal.
It does sound like it has a touch of English to it.
Vickers score.
The only other soccer team that I know in England has to be Arsenal. That's the only one I know. I hate to copy Connor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So all right.
Manchester? I'll go Manchester. How
There's
about
two
that?
Which Manchester?
Which one's in? Is it United?
Which red or blue?
All right. Here's the deal.
Red?
I'll give you both a point because he's on loan and he's owned by the Tottenham Hotspurs. He's been on loan for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. He plays in Scotland right now. He's an American player, by the way. Cameron Carter Vickers. So
Carter Vickers.
I'll give you both a point. Parker's still up 3-2.
Oh, I need it.
Next on the list is basketball player Cam Reddish. Everybody knows Cam Reddish.
Duke.
Indeed. First round pick, 10th overall. Where is Cam Reddish playing currently?
Okay. Cam Reddish. He was just in the NBA too. He's on the.
Remember, this is overseas.
Yeah, I know. He was on the New York Knicks. Former Knick. Okay. He is playing in Japan for the Nippon Chihuahuas.
Okay.
Whoa,
Parker.
okay.
We're going intercultural with our team name today.
He's playing in France with Zakai Ziegler.
Incorrect on the both of you. He is playing in the Lithuanian Basketball League for BC Siwali.
See, the time that it's actually Lithuania, I don't guess it.
It's always Lithuania until it's actually Lithuania.
Yeah.
And you don't get it.
Yeah.
Next one on the list, another baseball player. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer. Where is
Oh.
Trevor Bauer playing?
I do know this.
Go ahead.
I don't know the specific team, but Trevor Bauer's playing.
We've done this one before.
Have we?
Oh my gosh.
I guess I wasn't here.
Oh, well, Trevor Bauer's playing in Mexico.
He's actually not.
What?
Whoa. He's
This is
playing in the Dominican Republic.
Overseas. So
Oh,
not
wait.
North
Okay.
America.
Okay.
Oh, Mexico's in North America.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take my loss there.
Japan.
He is currently playing for Yokohama Bay Stars in the Nippon Professional Baseball League in Japan.
Let's go.
Well, he
So-
beat me anyway because it's only 2 overseas.
I have one more just for the fun
Just
of
for
it.
funsies?
Yeah, just for funsies.
All right.
Can you guys tell me, this is a coach, by the way. Can you guys
Okay.
tell me the trajectory of this coach?
Oh, interesting.
Yes. All right. Starting out, was alma mater of Texas Tech University. His playing career was at Houston as a wide receiver in college. Coaching career was Sundown High School, Sweetwater High School, Hamlin High School, Georgetown High School. And then we get to college. Was the running back coach at Texas Tech, then was the coach at Houston, then Baylor, left Baylor, and went to Italy and is the coach for Estra Gelfi, a team in Florence, Italy, for the Italian
Oh
Football
my
League.
God.
What coach is this?
I know this.
Go for it.
Art Briles.
Bingo. It is Art Briles. I love it. I love every bit of this.
It was over from the start.
I can't believe you got that one.
I know he coaches in Italy now. Yeah.
Never give him
Yeah.
college football questions.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, Art Briles is the champion of the Italy Football League in 2022. So,
The Italy Football League.
yes. And
Okay.
you get like 3 designated American players in that league, which is kind of cool. So you get to bring 3 American players over to play in Italy. It's pretty funny.
The Italy Football League. I think that's the perfect way.
They had their Super Bowl in
To end today's
Ohio.
show.
I don't know if you knew that or not. Yeah, they had their Super Bowl in Ohio at Ohio
Where? Ohio
Univer-
Stadium?
Ohio University.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, even better.
Yeah.
Home of the Bobcats. Well,
We're
that'll do that'll do it for today's show. Fun show today. Enjoy college football today. Enjoy the Titans tomorrow. Reaction Monday coming up on Monday. But after us, here in about, 1 minute, Alabama and Wisconsin are going to do battle here on our college football game of the week right here on 102.5. But for Nick Frazier, For Parker Kelly, my name is Connor Newt saying goodbye. Enjoy college football today. Thanks for listening to the Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game.
See ya.